Hello, just about the Multiboxer. I've got a quick update for you. If I can turn on the right display, there we go. So this is out of date. This is the first GUI draft for the script tool to help me do things. So we've got new script file, we can browse for a script file, we can save the current script file. What you do is you add a line to the current script, or you can remove one you've got selected. When you select it, it dynamically toggles the command type, and I've extended these a little bit since this draft was done. But we've got key up, key down, key up, key down, press, and we've got mouse move to, mouse up, mouse down, mouse click, which moves directly to and clicks the position. I've got next script, which runs the next script in your name, or Goto. Goto actually lets you do basic iteration in a script. So say you've got a 3-line script, you can first line move the mouse to move the action bar to number 1, say. Second line, click or press 1 so that they do action number 1 on action bar number 1, and then go to 1 and it will move back to the first bit. So it will just repeatedly do the same thing. If you want a gold spam, this is one way of doing it. And when you've selected the line, the parameters automatically populate that for you, and you can have integers, floats, and stuff like that. So what have I done inside the child host process? Well, this is the old code. So these were directly hard-coded actions: perform action, perform dot, perform hot, perform a DPS attack, select whichever bar, select the leader, follow it, assist it, eat, drink, etc., etc. These are all been replaced by scripts, so there are scripts for each of these now. But the scripting language I found needed some expansion to save my own brain. So the problem I had, first of all, was creating each of the macros. So you open the macro tool, put the tag, pick the icon, delete all the old macros, and then hit new, give it a name, pick the icon, click OK, then type in the script, and then move it to the action bar. And I wanted to do this repeatedly for like 6 or 7 different things I want to set up. So I want to set up eat, drink, mount, accept group. All these things that you see here, I wanted to have as macros in the UI and drop them on a certain action bar. And then what I could do is the script that would set this up, I could tweak and change about, and I can then have, say, the other machine connects. The machine connects to this as the host. This is in control with like 4 clients and me. Then that one joins with 5 clients, and then that just receives all these scripts. The scripts just sync themselves. But it was very, very convoluted. So I came up with a new thing. So what I have to go to is I have a var. And what var does, it's literally, we're getting into primordial scripting here, like a language. You can define a var. You have var, name, and a value. And that value can be an integer, a floating point, or a string. And what this does is, depending on what's there, it will push them into either the map of floats to ints or strings. So by name, I'm mapping using a standard map the name to the value. Then I have this templated function. So get token. What get token does is you've given it the tokenized piece of the string. So let's say we have var zealous integer 1. So it says var zealous int 1. That will create as an integer value added to this that's called zel or zealous, and it has the value of 1 in the map. Another piece of the script, so sleep, for example, the sleep command comes in, and the sleep command has %zealous %. That's how I'm delimiting the integers. And all it does is it gets token. It gets token of whatever type from the token string you've given it. So it just has %zealous %. So this comes in here and it tries to parse out that as an integer. It wants to give me an integer. So it's a standard optional integer specialized as t. I check if it's a variable. Is it delimited properly? Is it anything else? If it is, then I get the variable name from the actual item itself, where I just take 1 character in from the front and back actually and make a copy. No, I don't. That's a string view, so it's not a copy. So I'm just viewing the internal part of the string. So I'm reducing copying with string views as much as I can. Then I have a lambda. This could be another function if I wanted to, but it's a lambda right now because I wanted it inline while I debugged it. And what it does is you give it the variable name and you give it the mapping string to t, and it returns you a standard optional t, and then it tries to find the variable name in the map. If it does find it, it returns you that optional. Otherwise it returns you an empty optional. You've got no result. And then what I've got is a switch on type ID. Now I have got runtime type information, so this is fine for me. I don't intend on doing anything regarding reflection for this. I just want to make it do its thing. So we'll then find the function, variable name integers, variable name for floats, variable name for string, return it. If it's not a variable, then the second stanza is just if it's an int, try and a to I it, a to f it, or string it. I'm not at the moment going to lexical cast. I'm thinking about it, but yeah, lexical cast would be fine, but then I'd need to add a default value here, and I think 0 is fine, which is what a to I, a to f, and just copying would give me. The only stipulation I have is I think variable, for is variable, the check has to be at least 3 characters. So it's a bit smarter than you think, and that it's going, well, are they at least 3 characters? Because you could have a variable that's %x%. Anyway, so that's that. I'm thinking as well then that the next thing I need to do to finish the macro thing is start this with, say, offset from left of screen, and that's the first macro, drag and click and all that stuff. And then I want to go offset plus width to the next icon. Then I get 5 in a row because there's 5 icons in the macro GUI. In fact, I might have an image of it. So if I go into images, we got an image of it. There we go. So you've got, you see, I want to move from this point here and that one, and move an equal amount to that one and that one, then an equal amount for that one and that one. So I can just repeat the same script. I can give a variable name of whatever, and I then therefore want to change or increment the values as I go along, and I want to change the string. I want to assign to the string. So I'm getting into rudimentary scripting to make this work. That's all. That's where we're at. That's what I'm doing. I think the GUI is more important than anything else at the moment. I want to finish this off, clean it all up. The parser's getting a bit messy. There's some stuff in here I don't need anymore. These are all declared ahead of the switching because I'm not using big if statements. If else, if else, if. I'm using switches. So tomato, tomato. It's getting a bit unwieldy. I'd like to make these functors and give them a type and specialize the function like I have with get from token and go. Come in here instead of just looping over every token, just parse something. I want to move these somewhere. These need to be functions rather than stanzas of a switch statement. But there you go. That's your quick update, guys. There's been an awful lot of you subscribing since I've started posting these updates. I do hope you stick around for them. Like, subscribe, all that jazz, because it really does help. We're on a march to 500 subscribers soon. There's more been subscribed than is showing. Other than this, I'm really toying between, obviously here I'm using my own instance of CMangos, but yeah, is classic calling. It could be. It could be, but I don't think I can afford multiple accounts to potentially get banned with this thing at the moment. So it's certainly not my old classic account, my original account. So I'd have to create 5 brand new accounts to play this on WoW retail. Other games for it, I'm going to look at Elder Scrolls Online, which will be interesting because one of the interesting mechanics of Elder Scrolls Online is everything levels to your character. So if you're level 10 and you join a level 40 on a quest, they'll see level 40 stuff and you'll see level 10 stuff, and you can still work together. There's no problem doing this. It scales things up and down really well. It's something ESO does really well. So I'll see what we get to. Other than that, I hope you all had a good weekend, and I hope the New Year's treating you as nicely as mine isn't. I think big news today is we've bought a new sofa. So we've been out and spent £2 on a new sofa. It's all reclining, all fancy. So maybe some of these videos will come from down there. Who knows? Speak to you all soon. Bye-bye.